chairman of the People's Democratic Party Reconciliation Committee and former Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has warned that more defections from the party may still occur even as efforts continue to reposition the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. Saraki made this known during a televised interview in Abuja. He, however, described the timing of the crisis as an advantage, arguing that it gives the PDP time to recover and rebuild before election cycle begins in full swing. Despite the turbulence at the national level, Saraki said the PDP remains strong at the grassroots and across state structures. Now, to discuss this, we're joined by political strategist Dr. Sam Amadi. Thank you so much, Dr. Amadi, for joining us at this time. All right, now, Dr. Amadi, if you can hear me, can you speak to us on the underlying structural weaknesses within the PDP, that could be triggering the wave of defections and what it implies for the party's organizational coherence ahead of the 2027 elections?
Well, I think Bukola Saraki's point is that if nothing is done, there are going to be some more major, defections, and that looks like likely to happen, because if you look at the issue around the leadership and the consequence it can have for validity of nominations, we saw, for example, in what happened in Zamfara and what happened in some other states in the last electoral cycle, that where there is confusion and uncertainty around leadership, oftentimes, courts, the risk that courts might invalidate all the nominations. And that was part of what governor of Pastor Eno, the governor of Akwa Ibom, hinted. So clearly, it looks like the evil days are not yet over with PDP. And again, the conflicts around ego, there are too many captains, and then, like they say, too many chiefs, and no locals here, everyone's a chief. So it's becoming almost impossible to find a way to solve this problem before, in a couple of months before perhaps we get to the more difficult time. So what can be done is basically a sense in which maybe a lot of the leaders can come together and have some real win. You see, the problem is, take for example the secretary, Samuel Anyanwu. Evidently, before December, the tenure runs out. So if it's possible for them to say, you know what, we can keep calm and allow till we have a proper convention. Since the Supreme Court has given this curveball, it's not clear, and indeterminacy and uncertainty is dangerous. So if they allow that period to play out and then able to have some kind of reconvention and get, a proper ESCO in place, NEC in place, then they could solve this problem before nomination starts. I mean, this is really dangerous. And what has made it more dangerous is the policy of the presidency, Tinubu's election, where a chunk of PDP are committed to having Tinubu become, work for Tinubu at the presidency. So that, politics makes it difficult to achieve some consensus, because either way, who becomes secretary, who becomes chairman, will play a key role in where the party would pull along strongly in support of Tinubu, or the party will pull along to present an alternative candidate. So I think that the politics is becoming more complex every day for them to manage.
All right, but do you think that his statement reflects, the sentiment among party elites? Do you think that it signals a deeper crisis within the PDP leadership?
I think it does. I've spoken to some of the leaders, and even today, I was at the birthday party of the National Secretary, and I talked to some of the leaders, and their view is that, look, yes, in fact, the leaders of the party admitted that they are expecting that the party might have more significant, defections in this context. Because, look, I think there's a real, the trust is no longer there. The politics is maximalist. Everybody wants the right outcome. And it looks like somehow they are a little bit, some of those who are with Prowike and those who are supporting this Samuel Anyanwu's group feel comfortable that, look, after the presidency, maybe in 2028, we can pick the pieces. There's a sense of fatalism that look, well, we might not be strong. They don't even want the party to be strong for 2027 because they clearly, a chunk of that party has made up its mind to work with President Tinubu under a particular deal. And so their idea would be, we're going to kind of model through, and at post-27, we can pick up pieces. So there's fatalism, and I think this represents the view of significant, not all, of course, there are those who still think that we can bump off Anyanwu team, Wike, and take over this party and make it competitive in 27, but they're becoming more and more in the minority as things get worse.
Now, looking at the rate of defections, right, what role does Nigeria's weak political ideologies and fluid party systems play, especially in perpetuating cycles of these defections and realignment?
I think, honestly, it's a long time Nigerians threw away ideology and values in party differentiation and organization. And so we can look at the parties that basically known that has a strong, not even ideology in the classical sense of Marxism, welfarism, capitalism, but even the notion of a consistent idea about governance. There's no differentiation more for the party. So, but what has created this crisis now is a sense in which there are also no moderating, directing centers. Leaders who tower above all, and leaders who are not so engrossed in partisan, in the contest of election. So what PDP is plagued with is that since Jonathan lost election and walked away, literally, they don't have the leaders who are strong, politically viable, but not contested. And those leaders could have shepherded people together. So what we are seeing now in this current crisis is not just the loss of ideology that has happened long. It is also the fact that there are no more dynamism, no more discipline and coordination.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Amadi, for your time and for speaking on this.